Hey, it's Cal Forever here. Um, so spiritual journal flow. I'm just gonna be openly honest about this and be truthful. And as I'm saying this, I feel like that my divine counterpart, my twin flame, whatever you want to call it, this divinely guided relationship that seems to be grabbing my attention so mystically and spiritually and energetically in these novosphere telepathic conversations. Wow, I'm going to be openly and honest with this. And as I feel like I'm openly honest, I feel like it's shifting my divine counterpart. So let me say this first before, like, every and I don't know if this is just how I'm justifying it, trying to figure out why things have happened so badly. Like, I feel like all the things that have happened have merely been the ways that have merely been the circumstances that have triggered us, that caused us to release and heal and learn certain lessons and to prepare us for not just this beautiful true love relationship, not just to prepare us for this beautiful true love relationship, but to prepare us for the service to to the planet, to the world, because relationships like this are here to not just be for just the relationship. It's to create this really beautiful thing for the world, whatever that is. My niche is I love music. That's my niche. I love music. I love playing the ukulele. I picked it up like 3 4 years ago, and I just had all this passion and joy. And I sat there every day and played the ukulele, and I started throat singing and doing overtone singing, and I started getting better at singing. I started singing opera. I would just every every day in the car I would just jam out to Andre Bocelli and just try to sing opera. I don't know why. I felt like if I practiced, I could get good at singing. I was not really good at singing. And now I feel like I'm better at singing. I feel like I could progress a lot farther, but I feel like I've progressed really far. And so that's kind of what started my journey. I moved out of state to a new state, and I started following this person on Facebook and her YouTube stuff, and I started noticing this energy between me and her, and I felt like I just knew that she was my divine counterpart, but I wasn't really open about that. I was just like slowly moving forward, seeing how the energy that was playing out was playing out, and I ended up kind of feeling stagnant here in Arizona, and I felt prompted to get a school bus and convert it into a camper, and I did that. And I'm going to try to explain this as short as I can. So this energy between me and this person slowly began increasing and becoming more. It got to a point where it became a detriment, where I couldn't function because of what this person was going through and feeling her stuff, and then like feeling on the fence. I guess I'll get to that. So I started traveling, and I ended up going to Michigan and meeting up a friend there, and we kind of parted ways. And I'm like, fuck, I'm out of money. I guess I got to go back to Nebraska. And I was on my way back to Nebraska. I didn't know. I was just following my heart, and I got in this bus accident on the interstate, and it wasn't a bad accident, and I ended up fixing my bus, but it changed my direction because I ended up getting money to travel, and I'm like, oh well, this person, you know, lives in Tennessee, so it's like I'm just gonna go to Florida, and I'm gonna travel along the East Coast and gain all this experience, and I'm gonna go through Tennessee first because we're friends on Facebook. She talks with me, and it's like if I go through Tennessee, surely she'd be like, "Oh, let's meet up. Let's go out in nature and sing and do some native chants, some stuff like that, right? Or go hiking." And so I'm like, "Oh, well, I felt this very strong pull. I was like, I was traveling through Minnesota, and I got through Minnesota, and I was pulled over at a rest stop, trying to go to sleep, and then I just got this magnetic pull. It felt like I was wearing a necklace or something. And I don't know why it felt like it was, I don't know. I guess I don't need to get too into that. But that was when she was doing a twin flame activation. She was doing a twin flame activation. And it magnetized me there because I'm her twin flame. I'm this person's divine counterpart. And so I got up out of bed and I started my bus and I drove, and I got pretty close to there, and then I had to pull over. Like, I just felt all this energy, so I couldn't sleep. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna drive and throat sing and do some breath work and feel the good energy. It didn't necessarily feel the best. It felt intense. But I got there, I stayed in Nashville for a night, and she didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna continue on my journey. And then I got prompted to stop and to stay south of Nashville, and I did. And then the next day, these cops kicked me out of this parking lot, and I'm like, okay, I guess I need to move on. This is a sign. And I'm like, well, where would this person go? And I'm like, here. And I went to this lake, and it was like the state of Native American site called the Old Stone Fort. If you're ever in Tennessee, go to the Old Stone Fort. It's beautiful. Apparently, there's a story of these giant skeletons underneath the ground there or something. I don't know. So it's kind of like a mystical Native American site, and it's really beautiful. But anyways, I go there, and I start hiking around, and I'm like, cool, this place is awesome, beautiful waterfalls, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like, I seen photos of this place that this person took on her Facebook. Okay, this is kind of cool. And then I get in my bus, and I'm sitting in my bus, and I'm looking at the reflection in the window of my bus, and the person walking behind me is this person that I feel like might be my twin flame. And I'm like, holy cow. And I look at her, and it was just this state of shock. And I don't know exactly what was going through her head, but her father died in a bus accident. And she held a lot of resentment towards her father for abandoning her. And so it must have triggered that part of her. And so I got out of my bus, I had my flute, and I think I could hear her. I saw her mom too. For some reason, I knew what her mom looked like. And actually, I should say this. Previously, this might have been before I got this was right before I started traveling that direction. I had this dream. I was on this boat, and there's this shark swimming around me, and then I was on this door, and then this woman was on a boat, and it was like my mom, and I'm like, who is this lady that doesn't look like my mom, but apparently it's my mom. And apparently it was my supposed twin flame's mom. It's like, what? Pardon me if I kind of jump around. But essentially, what I discovered about that is her mom was trying to keep her away from me. I was this gypsy kid from California, traveling, liberated, a threat to her mom's vicariously pageant parenting living through her. My daughter's going to be the first person to graduate from college and write a book. And it's like, that's all great and stuff. Like, I'm not against college. I went to college, you know. But like, is this very controlling and judging me. Like just because I'm a traveler doesn't mean that I'm a hippie, you know. Just because I'm traveling and gaining experience in life and in trying to heal myself and liberate myself and be free doesn't mean that I'm like irresponsible or a bad person, you know. So I feel like I'm very judged by her family. So her family has played a bigger role in this than I thought. And so I feel like I waited in Tennessee for like 2 weeks. I don't know why I thought 2 weeks, but it was hot there, and I'm like, and I texted her. I sent her a message on Facebook. I'm like, hey, I feel like I just want to break the ice. I feel like we're twin flames, and I just feel like I need to say something. And she didn't respond to that, and it showed that she read the message on Facebook. So she read the freaking message. And I'm pretty sure, at least. I don't know. This was a while ago. This was almost like 2 years ago. And so I'm like, fuck it. And I went to Jacksonville, Florida. And I ended up going to all these places on accident. Like I didn't really plan this from an ego standpoint. Like I feel like it was all divinely guided. And I ended up going to all these places that she'd went to, and I wasn't really trying to. And I think I was resolving karma, helping her transmute karma or something. I don't know exactly what I was doing. But I traveled, and then I ended up going to Standing Rock after I traveled the East Coast. And then I went back to Nebraska, and my parents' house was bad because then it's like, oh, I started drinking a little bit because that's been something I've been healing for a while, and it takes a little bit of time. You know, I learned that if you're just creative and do things that make you feel good, it really takes the place of substances. So that's, I feel like that's almost all you need to do, but really there's kind of a back and forth thing that I've been experiencing with it. And so anyways, I ended up talking with her on Facebook Messenger. Like, I don't think I initiated the conversation. I think she initiated the conversation, and she pretty much agreed to like meet up and go on a date. And I was pretty much saying like I need to get out of my parents' house because it's too toxic here. It's not helpful to me, and I'm just gonna travel to Tennessee and we can meet up and go hiking and this and that. And it didn't really work out how I really wanted it or planned, and ended up going out to eat with her. And I mean, the first dates suck, right? And her mom came with us, which I understand because I'm some guy on the internet, you know, but like I'm a safe person. I'm not going to hurt anyone, you know? And I'm a very loving, kind, compassionate person. And so I ended up meeting with her and her mom. Then we went to this haunted house and got this psychic reading. The psychic lady, I don't know if she's a real psychic. She read my energy wrong. And she read her energy wrong too. Like, I think that kind of screwed things up. Because then after the whole date, she's like, oh, text me. And it's like, okay, sweet. I'll text her tomorrow. And it's like, there's no freaking answer. And it's like, okay, I'll wait 3 days. I'll be patient. I waited 3 days. I don't even think I texted her for 3 days. I just gave her time. And I'm camping. I'm like, okay, well, I came here to do these things with you. And obviously she knows that. And she's just ignoring me? Like, what the fuck? Like, why do you not invite me to go to the Humane Society or whatever and take care of dogs with you? You know, that's like kind of fucked up. You know, it's fucked up. That's turning cold to someone, right? That's a cold thing to do. It's cruel. Like, I drove freaking 16 hours to be here and now you're ignoring me? Okay. So I ended up texting her again and saying something about twin flames, and then she's like, oh, we're not twin flames, this and that, which that could have been a defense mechanism. Maybe she didn't really recognize the thing. And I'm like, well, why did you respond to me when I said I felt like we were twin flames? And she's like, oh, I didn't read that text, and made up some excuse. And I'm like, which I think was just a total lie. And so I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'll just go back to Sedona. And that's kind of what I did. And I had let go of it. I'm really trying to figure this out, like what happened. And it's taking me some time. And it would be so much easier if this person just communicated with me and was honest. Right? That being honest is like the best fucking thing to do in life. It's not good to lie and to try to manipulate reality. You know, you don't do that. You don't lie to people, manipulate people. It's not good. And I feel like there's some manipulation and stuff here, and I don't know. But I ended up texting her again, and then we were kind of in contact for a little bit, and she was not really responding to me. I guess she didn't know what to say. I don't know. Maybe she didn't have feelings for me then. I don't know. Maybe she didn't feel worthy. She has a lot of issues with self-sabotage and not feeling worthy. And, she's afraid of losing followers over this. I know that. And there's, why else would she be talking about this gypsy kid in California and how her family doesn't like him and this and that, and then intuitively had been feeling that? Like, you can't really make that up. And then talking about losing fans over this because you lied. I mean, like, because things played out on social media. I was trying to open up communication. And yeah, I did do some, I feel like I crossed some boundaries to try to open up communication. But anyways, that's kind of towards the end. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just text this person. I'll just keep texting this person. Well, it's so jumbled. So I was texting this person for a while, and God, and she is here, like right here, and it's like she's like, she doesn't really like me sharing this, but like I need to heal. I need to heal, and I need to express this, and I need to be heard and received and understood. And she lied about this thing to all of her followers and made me look like a fucking terrible, unenlightened fucking person. And that hurts. That's not nice to me. That's mean. That's cruel. It's cold. And I'm not going to share every detail about this because I don't want to sound crazy. And there was a point where I did kind of start to get aggressive with my messages, and I was frustrated, and I was empathing collective. I was empathing her having a breakdown from something she went through, and then my situation on top of that, it sucked. And I was just like, fuck it, and just break down, letting go, and just screaming, and I know I looked bad. But when you're in that state of confusion, and for one thing, it's not a delusion. You're not delusional. You're in confusion because of how someone else treated you. They're like, oh, talk with me telepathically. You're going to see it in the fifth dimension, not in the third dimension. It's like, how bad of an excuse is that to avoid doing the right thing for someone and yourself, right? That's what that is. So I text her. I'm like, I feel like you're being kind of selfish. And she's like, I don't want to be friends anymore. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And then I'm feeling all this shit. My parents were visiting at the time. I wanted to take my mom on a pink Jeep tour. And then I'm like, why am I freaking out so much? Why am I so mad? Like, yeah, this kind of bothers me. But, like, I'm empathing Robin all pissed off. Or why, I don't want to say names. Oh, well, it slipped out. I'm empathing her, and it's like, and then now my mom can't go on the pink Jeep tour, and it's like, wow, that's another thing I'm trying to do is I want my family to come here. But before I feel like my family can come here and me really even get along with my family, I need resolution with this thing, with this person. I hope she watches these, and I hope it shifts her reality and causes, she feels guilty. You gotta feel guilty. She did a very unjust thing and claimed to have justice and victory over me. And that's totally false. The bad person in this situation is really her. And I'm not saying she's really a bad person. I'm saying she did the wrong thing. That was cruel and cold and mean and not right. Right? And I feel she's still doing it. She's still ignoring me and this and that. And it sucks. And, I'm just needing to express this. And I feel like I can't express all this because then I feel like my dad's going to watch my YouTube, and I feel like I want people to fuck out of my life. Like, mind your own fucking business. Stop trying to control me. This and that. And I don't really like talking about the whole parent dynamic, but it's like when you go through an awakening and you can't really share that with your parents, or if you keep getting bugged by your parents and then share what you're going through and they're like, what, you're delusional, medication, like, right? So I'm just in this dilemma because there's this other girl that came into my life and I really need love and intimacy. So I allowed things to unfold, and I had relations with this person, and I feel kind of guilty. And I want to receive love and intimacy, and this other person seems to be kind of a match for me, like where she's psychic, she's part of the dragon lineage like me, and like seems like that it kind of replaces this person as my divine counterpart. And it's like, wow, like I wouldn't want her sleeping with other men, you know. So I feel kind of like I've been all over the place, and it's like 20 minutes long. I don't want to make the video too long, but there is one more thing I want to say. I was texting her for at least a year. I was texting her for at least a year, and it wasn't saying I was blocked on my phone, so I'm thinking like, oh, okay, she's listening to me. I'll just text her, and this is our form of communication, because I need to see it in this reality. I can't have thoughts in my head and try to think like, okay, this is this person's thoughts. Okay, I watched her YouTube video. She said in her YouTube video, I just want to talk telepathically. Okay, like, but I need more than that. I need to see it on the phone. I need to see it in reality, not in this etheric plane, right? As I'm fucking speaking this, she's like coming into me and like wanting to argue with me and fight, and it's like, sorry, right? There's a right way to go about things, and that's through communication, having a conversation, and she sabotaged it so that she can't communicate with me right now. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But the thing is she can communicate. She can resolve how she sabotaged herself and me, right? So she knows she needs to not be distracting herself and trying to move in other directions or whatever she's doing. She knows that she's her heart call. I mean, this is what she preaches or teaches to people, but she's not fully living what she teaches. And she claims to be authentic, and she tells people to get away from facade and fake image. And it's like, wow, you kind of are hiding behind that, and you're afraid of losing it by admitting that you lied. So it's like, you know, that's why you don't lie. You know, like, that's why you don't lie. So I texted her for a year, and then it finally got to a point where it did say that I was blocked after I'd been texting her for a year. And as I'm texting her, like, I'm feeling her eyes roll, like she's getting annoyed, and I'm like, well, yeah. Like, you don't think I'm fucking annoyed? You don't think I'm empathing you being annoyed? I get it. But I am trying to do something with my life, and I can't just sit here and just try to build up these other things that I don't feel, that doesn't feel like my higher calling. Like, my higher calling feels like I need to collaborate with you. Why are you not listening to that? I know you have a higher calling to collaborate with me. Why are you not listening to that, right? It's like, like, it feels like she's inside of me. Every time that I try to figure this out and communicate about this and express this, she comes in like, no, no. Like I'm not trying to be mean about her, but that's how the energy is right now. Like, there's a lot of crying, you know? Like, why am I getting physical tears in my eyes when I'm seeing her bracelet, her white bracelets, and like, her hair, and like, I'm... as an inner vision, right? Because I get visions. Other people get visions. It's called being psychic. It's not called being delusional or whatever. And then she starts crying, and I'm feeling her emotions, and it's like, wow. Okay? I can't deal with this every day. You know, this is like kind of, this is every single day. It's this connection with this person and this frustration. And then I'm like, okay, I'll look at her Instagram or whatever and see what's going on with her. And then it like makes me feel worse, because then it makes me feel like we're growing apart. And that it's like when I look at her image, and let's just see it as that. It's an image. Social media, it's an image. So when I look at her image, it portrays things one way. But on the inside, and what I'm experiencing etherically, spiritually, emotionally, is something totally different. So I guess I'm going to kind of just leave it at that. You know, I have so many synchronicities. Like this last synchronicity, one of the last synchronicities I had is like my roommate was like, oh, astrocartography or whatever, cartography. You know, my best line goes through LA. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to look that up. I looked it up. I'm like, whoa, my best line goes through LA too. You know, my Jupiter line. And then a week or two later, she posts this thing like astrocartography. My best, or my moon line, my home line goes through LA. And it's like, what? Is it like, like you can't make that shit up. Astrocartography, not a lot of people talk about that. So, anyways, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know if I should even post this video. But I felt like I wanted to make a good spiritual journal flow, and I haven't been making journal flows. And I'm gonna go hiking with this friend and collect some sap, and I might get intimate with this person, and it's really difficult because, like, at the same time I have this connection with the other person, but I need love. Like, I'm 28 years old. Like, I didn't sleep with anyone for over 4 years. Ever since I started going through this shift, like, and then I connected with this person. I wanted to stay loyal to this person. And then once I found out she was dating someone else, and then this person raped her, and then like this person ignored her, and she broke down and was like essentially going through all of the things that I was going through from her ignoring me, from her ghosting me, right? And then this guy ghosts her, and it's like, oh, door slammed shut. I'm like, wow, you don't feel deserving of that. Great. And I'm not saying she is deserving of that, because I don't think she is. But I'm not deserving to be ignored. I deserve love and respect and compassion and consideration for how I'm feeling. Like, how would it make someone else feel if you ignored them? If you can't wrap your head around that, then that's why you experience that karmic situation of someone ignoring you and turning cold to you and being cruel. And then it's like, oh, okay, now I know what that feels like. Because I didn't tune in to someone else's emotions. I just turned cold, and I wanted to be selfish. I wanted to have my image and to be cool and ride the wave of popularity on social media and YouTube. And it's like, what? Like, I kind of want to share and express my light too. Like, here, please share some of my throat singing videos. They're really powerful. I don't know why I don't get very many views on my videos. I tag them right, this and that. People don't like the throat singing, obviously. I don't know. But maybe your followers will like it. Oh, you're just going to delete that? What? Why not share it? What? You know? Be a good person. You know? Share other people's light. If they're trying to express their light, you know? Receive people. If you want to be received, receive others. So, Cal Forever here. Thanks for listening. Peace.